Que viva socialismo! Que viva socialismo! Long live socialism! Power to the people!
Get him.
The fact of the matter is,
down pat.
So, Mom,
Yes.
Uncle Robert, Chris.
Little Debbie.
I'm glad that you brought that nickname up. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. I just thought it's so cool that we have so many educators in our family who, started in different decades, teach different populations, and so I thought it'd be really cool to just have us sit down and talk about how the profession has changed and our experiences as teachers. So I was going to ask you first, just like, when did you start teaching and what led you to the profession? Like, what made you become a teacher? And I guess we should start with Uncle Robert because you can teach him the longest.
Okay, so I must have told the story before, but first
Never
time
on
for the camera.
film. Yeah.
So I wanted to be a math teacher ever since I was in second grade, and I never wavered. All of my friends went through that. I want to be a fireman, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a baseball player. I never wavered. Whenever you asked me from second grade on, the moment was, so in Catholic school, in elementary school, I think all elementary schools were like this. You would have one teacher that taught all the subjects. So I had a nice second grade teacher, but she wasn't a math person. And you could tell that she didn't like math because her style when it came to learning math was she'd hand out the workbooks. She'd say, okay, everybody, look at the model problem, then try the exercise set. And when you're done, bring it up and I'll check it with my answer key. And so I guess I had a pretty good math propensity, so I would be one of the first ones. And I would show her the work, and she'd say, oh, that's right. Okay, now you get to go. The kids that were the first to come up with the right answers get to walk around the room and help explain it to the other kids. So I'd walk around the room and I'd say, oh, it's like this, and you do this, think about it this way. Oh, is that all it is? So I remember getting this euphoric feeling, getting that response from some people. Oh, wow, is that what it is? I was having so much trouble. Now I understand it so well. And I remember running home that one day saying, Mommy, I know what I want to be when I grow up. And I just never wavered.
I was there and heard that.
Never wavered from that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that story.
I'm surprised I didn't tell you.
No.
I tell my students every year.
That's so cool.
Every year, because very few kids at that young age know what they want and stick with it. And I'll never forget, since there's the 4-year difference, him coming home so adamantly and so enthusiastically that this is what he wanted. And it's an inspiring story. Yeah. And if I may, that's what led me to the profession. Yes, that's what led me to the profession because, as everybody here knows, I started in '01, which makes it 16 or 17 years, and I would always hear Uncle Robert talk so fondly of teaching, and I would see his students come to visit him. You were like 3, 4, 5 years old, and I would go to your rental house on Ogden, I guess. And I would watch all of these kids come over, and you had such a great relationship with them. Not only because you taught them academically, but socially. You seemed to get involved in the whole child. And I thought, how gratifying this is. And I wished that I had majored in education and regretted that I hadn't. And then, of course, when Daddy died, I was able to do that, go back to school. And you know the rest. And I don't teach in a school like Scarsdale, but you gave me this advice, and I remembered it because I thought, I don't know what these kids, it's really hard to reach them. They're struggling so much. And you said to me, it doesn't matter, the kids that you teach might have more advantages, but you're helping them get through life's hurdles in the same way that I'm helping them, and to look at it more positively. And that really did help me. Throughout the years, I felt blessed that I was able to teach kids in a low-income area and to hopefully make their lives a little bit better and a little bit more enriched. And if I may, I was so happy when I learned that
Who's hosting this show?
that you, Chris, joined the profession. So yeah, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
that's. So, Chris, you and I recently became teachers. What year did you start? I actually don't know.
So it started in 2012.
Okay.
So I'm on year
Me too.
6.
Yeah, that's
All right,
cool.
I didn't realize it was the same year.
Yeah. I started as a substitute first. And then I took
Okay.
a training position.
So after hearing my dad's story, I mean, he just modeled for me, how good it is to become a teacher at an early age. Unfortunately, I was a rebel. And I, kind of graduated high school, by the skin of my teeth, and went to WCC and took the most general courses that I could, and I kind of dropped out, and I picked it back up, and I really had no idea what I wanted to do. It wasn't until I got a part-time job teaching sports at an after-school program that I started working with kids, and I was enjoying it definitely a little bit. And then one day they said, oh, we need, can you stay after? We need someone to do homework help. So when I was helping kids with their homework, I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty interesting. And it was right there in front of me the whole time. What it was, my dad was always telling me growing up, it'd be great if you're a teacher. You have the summers off. You're not going to have this with any other job. And that's around then when I was 20, 21.
And what was interesting, like you said, when you did homework help, it was interesting to you. What did you like about it?
I like the idea. I don't know. I guess it didn't feel like work, and I know all teachers really say that, but I didn't really understand it until that one moment. That it was fun to kind of help students and get that what we call now aha moments, where students finally get something.
That's good.
It feels like all three of you are actually talking about like two aspects of the profession, which are like developing relationships with students, and then also just the excitement of sharing your passion for the academic content with a student, and kind of that's what brought you to the profession. Once you started teaching, are those two things the things that dominated your time, or were you surprised to find that other kinds of activities, other kinds of things? Do you understand the question? Like, yeah, it sounds like you were brought to the profession
because you paperwork.
yeah, exactly. You were brought to the profession hoping to have strong relationships with students and sharing your passion for the academic content. Is that what you found when you came to the profession? And you started teaching in the 80s? Is that right?
1980 was my first year.
Yeah, I thought it was 7.
Yeah. My story, I'm sure, is going to be different than Christopher's analysis. I've taught in high-achieving schools with highly motivated students and pretty good administrations overall. In my 37 years, of different principals and administrators that I've had. And they get it. They get what's important, and they try to minimize the busy tasks that I've heard about. So it's not like I'm unaware of what other teachers deal with, but I haven't had to deal with that. And so when it comes to having to do arduous tasks that detract from your ability to be effective in what's important, I think you're going to have to hear from.
Yeah, that was well said. I like the way.
No, I feel like it's good to hear good examples too. So I'm glad to hear that.
I like the way you put that about arduous tasks, taking away from what's really important, and I agree. And Chris, you probably feel the same way, since we did more or less start in the same era. There is a lot of paperwork. There are a lot of, for me, there's a lot of common planning. So it takes you away from being able to plan lessons or grade or meet with kids. And sometimes there's not as much autonomy. Ever since we had Engage New York and Common Core, at times they were asking us to teach according to a script. And if the kids didn't like the literature, too bad. And then sometimes we would complain because we're teaching to an exam. But luckily, it seems as though that's fading out in my department, in English, and in my school. And we have more autonomy now, and the kids enjoy their lessons more. They enjoy the relationships they have with the books and the authors. So I see a big difference between excitement and enthusiasm in the classroom now as to when it was more the way Robert pointed out, where you were overwhelmed with all of these responsibilities that had nothing to do with the profession, the way that I enjoyed it.
So one thing that teachers will always tell me, my dad used to tell me, like, oh, I feel it's terrible to be a teacher now with all with all of that.
Yes.
I don't know any different.
I know.
I came in, it was already Common Core. So I don't mean that you probably have that system. You've actually had to shift.
I had a little of,
Yeah, you've actually had to shift, and that's probably why you are. I don't know any different. So that's why, I kind of just do,
good point.
It's laid out.
Good point. But do you ever listen to teachers who tell you, this is how it used to be, why can't we have that?
That's
or do you just tune them out because
that's like having your 80-year-old grandfather tell you, back in my day we used to say, okay, grandpa, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
While you're playing on your phone.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I never heard the story of how you got into teaching.
I tell my students
I've heard it
every
100
year.
times.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Chris.
No, I'm just kidding.